Ah, hello there, boyglings. How are we all doing? Apologies about the music blast there. That was unintentional. So, how are we all doing today? We all doing good? So, we're just gonna be doing a little Zatsudan today. A little, post-birthday Zatsudan. Just gonna have, just gonna help for a little bit. Not a whole lot today, give me just a second. Not gonna be playing anything today at all. Originally, I wasn't gonna be streaming today because we were doing, some housework here, but, we got done with the housework, and Papa Nomic is, somewhere else right now. So, how we all doing? You're doing good? That's good to hear. Not a whole lot happened for my birthday, for those wondering. I went out to eat some Bob Evans. It was very good. Well, I say it was very good. It was okay. It was honestly just okay. Okay, my food was the one that was the best. Everyone else's was kind of burnt. Because they had the flame on too high. And even mine wasn't that great. Other than that, I got, like, some clothes. And I got a new game. A game that I've never played anything of the series. And if you're wondering what that game is, you can blame a certain, Shinigami for getting me interested in it. A certain Reaper. Yeah, I don't know why Papa Nomic and sister of mine did not do that, but I don't know. They probably didn't want to wait for more food. If you're wondering what the game is, I'm not gonna spoil it yet. Actually, you know what? I will spoil it. Any guesses in the chat as to what the game is? It is for PlayStation 4. It's also on PlayStation 5, but, you know, I don't have a PlayStation 5. And I don't... Is it on PC? It might be on Steam as well, but... I wasn't gonna get it on Steam because... I don't think... Wow, Hate! That is one hell of a guess! How did you... This guy... This guy guessed it immediately. Yes! It's Persona 3 Reload! The very first Persona game that I'll be playing. I have no idea what I will be doing, and it will be a while before I actually get to, that game, because I am going through Ho-Ho Fantasy. I think I talked about it once when, Callie was streaming it, but I don't even know. I don't know if Callie ever finished it. If she did, it must have been in the morning or something, I don't know. But yeah, I got Ho-Ho Fantasy going on right now. I got Metal Gear Solid 3 going on. When one of those ends, I don't know if I'm going to be doing, Persona 3 after that. Because I know Persona 3 is going to be a very, very long game. And you know, if anyone wants to help in the chat with that game, by all means, go ahead. But don't spoil the story. That's the main reason I play the RPGs. Is I play mostly for story. I like stories. Gameplay? Yes, of course, I would like good gameplay with the story. But if I'm playing an RPG, I want a good story. If the gameplay's bad, or if the gameplay's great, but the story's bad, then it's like, why am I playing an RPG? gonna say that when, you know, I play Kingdom Hearts. So, anything else? That's about all I did for my birthday. I went out to eat, I got a couple things, I kinda came home and I did nothing the rest of the night. I was gonna do this Zatsudan last night, but I didn't feel like doing anything, really. I don't know if Fauna's gonna stream today, so this might be short or long, depending on, that. So yeah, we're gonna be listening to this, OST again, because I don't have anything else to, play. So, we're gonna be playing this OST. You know what? Let's do a little history lesson with the old, Void Seer, huh? I didn't even do my intro, I just realized that. Oh well. It's not like I'm doing anything super important anyways, but talking. So, let's talk about video game history, because that's what I know the most about. So, what do you think was the very first console that I ever touched? Take a wild guess. Yes, I'm gonna make you guys feel old. I'm gonna make myself feel old. What am I talking about? I'm gonna let you guys guess what the very first console is that I ever touched was. I look like an Atari guy? Is that your final answer? Is that your final answer? Because you'd be right. The very first console I very vaguely remember is the Atari. I don't remember which Atari, but it was the Atari. And the only game I remember from the Atari was Pong. That's the only game I remember is Pong. You grew up with a PS2? I didn't. I have a PS2. I actually still have a PS2, but I don't know if the PS2 actually works anymore. I mean, it opens, but like it immediately closes the drawer again. So like it'll open and can go back in without stopping and let you put a disc in. I don't know if the tray needs oiled or whatnot. I don't know. I also haven't touched the PS2 in like so many years. Symphony of the Night is your favorite game? Symphony of the Night is a really great game. I love Symphony of the Night. That was my first Castlevania game, by the way, was Symphony of the Night. I thought it was like... It was amazing when I played it. And it made me want to actually try the other Castlevania games. Even though I knew that a lot of them were not going to be the same as Symphony of the Night. So... After the Atari, my very first game that I remember and I played a lot of was for the NES. And if anyone knows exactly what it is, it should be very obvious. It should be very obvious what this game is. Come on, y'all should know. Y'all should know. Considering what all I played, it is not Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy was not the first game. I don't even think Final Fantasy was out when that game came out. I think Final Fantasy sold it in what, 1990? Nope. My very first game that I remember is the original Super Mario Bros. And not just the original Super Mario Bros. But Super Mario Bros. Plus Duck Hunt. That was the first game that I remember. Yep. Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. And Hogan's Alley. I remember Hogan's Alley as well. I did have the, sap gun. I was awful at Duck Hunt and Hogan's Alley. But, I played Super Mario Bros. So much. Like, an insane amount of times. There was one time, and this might be getting a little too personal, but I think I shared this in the past. There was one time where I was going in for surgery, and I was in the waiting room with Papa Nomic, and they had the NES in the waiting room, right? And they had Super Mario Bros. So, while I was waiting to go in for my surgery, me and Papa Nomic played Super Mario Bros., right? I was player 1, he was player 2. By the time Papa Nomic got to play the first level, I was at level 8-3 within like 5-10 minutes, something like that. I died on 8-3 once. And then Papa Nomic played, he died once. I don't remember when he died, I think it was 1-2, 1-1. And then I beat the game. Right before I had to go in for surgery. It was like, bruh, I knew the game so well I could beat it in time before I had to go into a surgery. I think it was like 15 minutes or something like that. Not world record pace, but it was really fast. Like, I knew that game like the back of my hand. Now, nowadays, I don't think I could do that unless I get a lot of practice because, I don't play the original Mario that much, if at all. But, it was definitely something. It was definitely something. Give me just a second, if you will. I need to do this real quick. Boop 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 boop. Do do do. Give me a second. Now, I don't remember my NES days as much. I don't even remember what all games I have with the NES. I remember some, but not all of them. I remember there is a game that Nugget Haley is playing right now that I did own, but never beat. And that was Fester's Quest. I have never beaten that game. And, you know, watching Naka play it, I might actually retry it. I might actually try to beat it myself. A fourth game? What are you talking about? I don't know what game you're adding to your list, but, yeah, Fester's Quest is a game I've never beaten. Okay. Another game that I did not own, and here's another story time. Back when my grandfather was still alive, and we would go visit him over in Kentucky or West Virginia, I don't remember where, I used to go and play on the NES at his house, and one of the games that he owned, and I never beat, was Snake, Rattle, and Roll. I think I got halfway through that game, or 3/4 through that game, but I never beaten it. It is on the NES Online for the Switch. I did see that. So that is a game I will probably do at some point. And I will probably suffer. A lot. By the way, I never played a single Mega Man game until I started, Let's Playing. until I start doing LPs, you will ask, however, Mega Man-like, Castlevania-like, and what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Which one of those three do I like more? Is that what you're asking? I don't know what you're asking, Fairhate. That's an odd question. But yeah, what seems more interesting? That's hard. That's a hard question between Mega Man-like, Castlevania-like, or old-school RPG. Like I said, when it came to RPGs, I like a good story. But a good story doesn't work if it doesn't have good gameplay with it. With Mega Man games, Mega Man and Castlevania, it really depends on the game. Because I didn't like every single Mega Man and Castlevania game that I played. I do have a Castlevania, I got a couple Castlevania-like games that I have to play. Let me go over my Steam list. Games that I have not played. Blaze Blue Central Fiction. I have not done yet. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I have not done yet. King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Max, I haven't done. Record of Logos War. Eaglet and Wonder Labyrinth, I haven't done yet. The Genius of Sapphirose, I keep putting off. East 1, 2, and Memories of Sulcata, I haven't done yet. So I got a fair amount to do on Steam. Aside from Persona 3, the only PS4 games I have Nier Automata, I think, which I've been putting off, and I got Metal Gear Solid 5 that I've been putting off. For the Switch, I have 3 games, My Heroes 1 Justice 1 and 2, and, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. All 3 of those games are in plastic, by the way. All 3 of those games I did not buy. My dear sister of mine bought those. And, you know, those games that she is more interested in. But, you know, she doesn't play anything down here. She never comes down to ask to play any of these consoles. Mostly because I'm, streaming down here. Give me a second. I need to go check on the dog. So give me just a second. I have returned! So, I can't remember what was I talking about? Oh, right, I was talking about all these games. So, the other games for NES, so I played Super Mario Bros. 1 a lot. I also played Super Mario Bros. 3 a lot. I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is the one that I played the most. Out of everything on the NES, I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is my most played game. Fun fact, I never played Super Mario Bros. 2, ever, until the SNES era. I never saw the game, like, ever. I didn't mind World 7 in Super Mario Bros. 3. Honestly, I got so used to the game that I could just speedrun it. I did a lot of speedrunning with games. Here's a game that a lot of people probably never got to play. So, I never got to play the Mega Man games, right? Until I started doing Let's Plays. Actually, let me see when my first Mega Man game was. Technically, the first Mega Man game for me was, it was not a Mega Man game. It was Mega Mari. You know what? Mega Mari. That was in 2009 that I did Mega Mari. So yeah, 2009 would technically be my first Mega Man. Other than that, it was 2011 when I did the first Mega Man game. And oh wow, okay, yeah. It was 2011 when I did the first Mega Man game. Personally. Mega Mari is a rough start, but Mega Mari is a pretty good game, honestly. I also had to redo a lot of levels in that game because back then I think I was using Cam Studio. And Cam Studio was so awful. Let me tell you something, guys. Before OBS started, the first things I started with video making and Let's Playing, I started with Cam Studio, which always crashed like all the time. It was so unstable. And Windows Movie Maker, which also crashed all the time and was unstable. And the computer I had back then took so long to convert videos, like some 15 minutes videos sometimes took like 2 hours to, convert. And then I think I started using Camtasia after that. And then after Camtasia Studio, I started using, I think I finally went to OBS after Camtasia. And then after Windows Movie Maker, I went to, oh no! I did use Fraps. That is what I used. I used Fraps over Camtasia. I forgot about Fraps. Man, I feel old. But, I did finally switch over to, Camtasia Studio, which is what I still use today, is Camtasia Studio. But I use OBS for recording everything, because OBS is just so good. Ventrilo? I don't remember Ventrilo. I don't think I ever used Ventrilo. But yeah. My original Mega Man game was not Mega Mari. It was not Mega Man. It was Bucky O'Hare. Before Skype, for me it was AIM. AOL Instant Messenger is what I used. But yeah, Bucky O'Hare was my first Mega Man game. That game is... I remember being difficult. I remember... I did beat that game a few times. I don't remember playing it that much, though. In regards to... other games... I would say give Bucky O'Hare a try. It's honestly a pretty good game. It's difficult, though. I also played Paperboy. I never beat Paperboy. I had Punch-Out. I don't know if I ever beat Punch-Out. I don't think I ever beat the original Punch-Out when I played it on NES. I had Arkanoid, or was it Breakout? Which one was on NES? Was it Arkanoid or was it Breakout? You could beat Punch-Out. I did it on stream for the, not stream, but for, maybe I did stream it? I forget. But you can't beat it. There is an end to it, because Super Macho Man is the last guy, I think. No, it was... Was it Super Macho Man? No, that was Super Punch-Out. Mike Tyson was the last one, I think, wasn't he? I don't even know how I would do Punch-Out Wii. I'm not sure how that would work with, the setup I have. Oh! No, those are the secret bosses that you can unlock. You can beat them. I just never was able to. Because you get hit once and that's it, and, you know, I'm not able to react to that anymore. What other NES games did I have? I never played a single Castlevania until, I streamed Symphony of the Night. Or until I did Symphony of the Night, anyways. I didn't even play Zelda until, Link to the Past. Oh, you can? I will have to probably give that a try someday, then. Yeah, I don't remember all the NES games. It's been so long that I don't remember them. I probably oh! One of the games I remember playing a lot. And it's one of my first beat-em-ups. It's not Double Dragon. I do remember playing Double Dragon, but I don't think I owned Double Dragon. But I did own Bad Dudes. You know, you gotta be a bad enough dude. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? You know that thing? That meme? Yes, I own that game, and I used to play it a lot. I will probably stream that at some point. I remember it being pretty difficult, too. Oh, hey, it's Crony's theme playing. I remember playing, River City Ransom and the original Battletoads, but I never owned them. NES Hard, yes. NES Hard. There was also a McDonald Land or something like that. Some weird McDonald game that I never beat. It was a weird game. I don't remember much about it. What other NES games were there? I can't recall. I'm sure there's some others that I'm forgetting, but it's been so long that I don't remember. I think I had Excite Bike? I want to say I played Excite Bike. And I want to say that I played R-Type or a, Gradius too. And I think it was a Gradius game. Because I remember Moai Heads shooting Rinka Rings at me. And I remember Volcanoes. And I remember upside down volcanoes and upside down moai heads. I think that was I do think that was a Gradius game. I don't remember which one. I did beat it. I want to say it was like Gradius 3, but I'm not sure. But that's SNES. Did I play the SNES one or the NES one? I don't remember. Maybe one day I should play those games. Perhaps. And another NES game, and this one might surprise people, and I was gonna hold this as a surprise when I did, I was gonna do a little segment for a stream where I would do a long game, a short game, and then a segment where I would play games that I played in my youth. This game I played was a Disney game. Do you guys remember what it is? What NES Disney games do you think were around? I never beat this game, by the way. And I don't think I ever owned this game. But I do remember playing it. I might have rented it. Back when, you know, video stores existed. If I recall, it was The Little Mermaid. I have very faint recollections of that game. And I very faintly remember it being stupidly hard for some reason. I just don't remember because it's been, you know, many, many years. And when you're as old as I am, you tend to forget stuff, you know. When you've been around for millennia and stuff. Actually, I haven't been around for millennia, okay? I'm not that old. Just because I've got voice here doesn't mean I'm ancient, okay? Anyways, so after the NES era, we move on to the next era, which is the Super Nintendo era. So when I got the Super Nintendo, all the NES games and NES, those all got sold at a... at a yard sale for $50. All of it got sold for $50. You know, things happen. It happens. Honestly, I don't even know if I would have gone back to play the NES games. I probably would not have gone back to play the NES games at that point. But when you come back and think about how much some of that would have sold now, it's things like that you know, people don't really think about sometimes. I didn't think about it. Nobody really thought about it. But when you look at how much the Super Mario Bros. Sells now, it's like, oh, it sells for that much. Hindsight and all that. Oh well, it's all in the past. So, Super Nintendo. I think the very first game that I have for, yeah, more than $50. For all the NES and, for all the NES games and the NES itself. But, the first game for the Super Nintendo that I recall is Super Mario World. And, you know, I love Super Mario World. Super Mario World is, like, one of my favorite games of all time. Probably one of my most played games of all time. It's just a great game. It's a game that I could go back to and just play. Like, you guys saw me stream a couple of speed runs for it. You guys know how good I could be at that game. Maybe not the last stream, because last stream just... the game hated me. I don't know what happened. I don't know why the game was like, nah, you're just gonna die. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just gonna fall in this pit and die. I guess I'm just gonna die while I'm trying to eat a Wiggler on Yoshi. You know? But, I also got Super Mario All-Stars, which, you know, make NES games obsolete. Also, for the first time I got to play Super Mario Bros. 2 and the Lost Levels. And let me tell you how much I did not like the Lost Levels. The Lost Levels was such a terrible experience. I did beat it. I did beat it multiple times. But I never liked that game. That game was infuriating. It was so infuriating. It would always make me mad whenever I played it. And back then, let me tell you, back then my anger was pretty bad. Probably really... It was probably worse than it is now. Like, I get mad still. But back then, it was really, really bad. Let's just put it that way. I was the kind of kid that if he got mad enough, he would break his controllers. I'm sure Papanomic remembers that a lot. I'm sure Papanomic wishes that I didn't do that. I'm sure Papanomic wanted give me a bunch of whippings over it too, because that was a lot of money for controllers. Eventually, I got over it, but, you know, that was in the Wii era. You know, when I finally broke a GameCube controller that I bought, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should stop breaking controllers, because this is kinda expensive. And what good does it do to break a controller? Don't break your controllers over anger. It's not worth it. It's never worth it. Don't break anything. Don't break your controllers. Don't break your monitors. Don't break your keyboards. Just don't break anything. It costs money. And it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy. Don't do it. Anywho, so your bad habit was leaving game discs out and getting them scratched and held back. You know, I never did that. I always put the game discs back in the case and cartridges back where they were supposed to be. Because I'm like, I don't want my stuff to get wrecked. I just didn't want it to get wrecked. So, when it came to SNES, my first RPG was not a Final Fantasy game. It was still a Square game. It was not Final Fantasy. It was not Chrono Trigger. It was, in fact, Super Mario RPG. Now, you want to talk an SNES game that I played probably the most? It was probably Super Mario RPG. I have a lot of stories to share with that game. I think I shared some of it on stream with the Super Mario RPG remake. But, Downstroyer, my best buddy Downstroyer, will hear me talk about that game all the time. Like, that was the game that I would talk about on the playground a lot, whenever I hung out with him a lot. I actually made my own strategy guide for that game. I actually took paper, did drawings, wrote down data, all that stuff myself, made my own little strategy guide for the game. I had the official strategy guide for the game too. It's a little torn up, falling apart now. One of my older dogs, bless that dog, kinda poked a hole through the strategy guide because I had the guide on my bed. And he was a black lab. He was an old black lab that we named Moose. And I had the strategy guide open on my bed. And he jumped up on the bed and laid right on the strategy guide, right? And I threw him off the bed. And when he stood up, his claws went right through the strategy guide. So I got this giant hole in my strategy guide from where he stood up on it. It's just like... It's like, oh no, my strategy guide! Ah! It's got a big hole in it now! Ah! That dog was a great dog. I missed that dog. But, that was one of my first strategy guides, and I looked through that guide a lot through classes. I would read that in, like, class all the time and read it during class. If Papa Nomic is watching this, I will have him know that there was a lot of times I did not pay attention in class. I did good in class, yes. But, I never paid that much attention in class. I would often be doing other things, like drawing or reading stuff, you know? Because I'm just like, man, class is boring. I'm just gonna do something else. I mean, I still was a straight A student for most of my school career. But, you know, I call it a career. But, like, I just got bored. It was so... School bored me. I was always bored. It's just like, man, I just want to go home and do other things. Because I'm just sitting here listening to stuff and it's just like, eh. Can I do anything but sit here and listen and all of the stuff that I already know how to do? But yeah, Super Mario RPG, my first RPG, I played it a lot. I got stuck at failure for the longest time in that game. And then finally, I broke past failure and managed to beat the game afterwards with no problem. Except for Eurythmics. Eurythmics was awful, but like... The game was... I got so used to the game that I was able to perfect parry. I was able to do 100 super jumps without any problem. And let me tell you how hard it is to do 100 super jumps in that game. That game is so difficult to do 100 super jumps in compared to the remake. The remake is infinitely easier in a lot of regards. But yeah. And here's another story, and Papa Nomic knows about this as well. And this is why I got my controllers taken away. I used to play during the night. There were times I used to, just stay up all night long playing video games. And, you know, as a young boyling, and I'm sure many of us used to do this, we used to stay up all night long. If Papa Nomic is in the chat, go ahead and honk. You're allowed to honk if you're watching the stream. But, yeah, Super Mario RPG was a game that I played a lot during the night. It's probably why I got so good at the game. It's probably why I got so good at a lot of games. As well as another game that I'm gonna talk about. So, a game that I did not own until later on. And I got this gifted to me as a birthday gift from West Coast Video, which was kind of like a Blockbuster. You go there and rent videos and games. And I would rent this game so much that I just got for me as a birthday gift. And this game is a game that people wonder who this game. Hey, Sino, how can you beat this game so easily? You make this game seem easy. And that game, which is another game that Down Destroyer knows very, very well that I was obsessed with. I would talk about it all the time. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Zombies Ate My Neighbors was a game that I played so much. I got to the point where the game wasn't even really that difficult. I mean, I still have problems later on in the game because that game's not easy. Even with how much I played it, it's not an easy game whatsoever. It was honestly a very difficult game. Give me just a second. 1 second, if you will. I think, is Fauna not streaming today? I need to see if Fauna is streaming. Are you streaming today? I hit the wrong button. But yeah, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario, All-Stars, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, those were my most played games on the SNES. I don't think Fauna is gonna stream today. No, it does not look like it. Interesting. Alright, give me a second, I will be right back. I have returned! Anywho, other SNES games, you know what, I should pull up this thing. I have this. What do I have on NES? Let me look at the NES. Oh yeah, on the NES I did play DuckTales. I did own DuckTales as a kid, so I remember that. And I remember Hailspin. Hailspin was another, game that I played a lot as a, young boyling. Where is my Super Nintendo list? SNES. Alright, so. Yes, this game. So, there is a game that some of you may have played, and it's a very terrible game, called Batman Forever. Now, I used to be able to beat this game, but I can't do it anymore. Batman Forever is such a bad game. It's very bad. It's one of the few games that I actually LP that I didn't actually finish the LP of. I did like a one shot of it because I'm just like, man, this game is not very good. It is a very, very bad game. And another game that was not really good, I didn't own it, I rented it before, was American Gladiators. Does anyone remember American Gladiators? Like, I remember I used to watch that show a lot. And it was like, I don't know, it was interesting to me back then. Seeing all of these really big, beefy people just beat the crap out of everyone else. It's like, huh. And some of the games they had out there, like a little rolling ball thing, felt interesting. The game was not very good. The game was pretty bad. And the first Zelda that I played was on the SNES, which is A Link to the Past. Now, that was another game that I played a lot of. And if anyone saw my speed run of it, you might be able to tell just how much I played of the game. Link to the Past. When did I play that? 2020 is when I last played it. And it was about 4 hours and 12 minutes. That's about how long that speed run was. Which isn't a bad time for it, honestly. That was a 100% speed run, too, if I recall. I still I still hate the Ice Temple, though. The Ice Palace is the worst palace of the game. Ice Palace and Hurl Rock are both awful. They're both terrible. I hate them both. Fun fact. The next Zelda game that I played after Link to the Past would not be until the Wii era. I didn't even get to play the N64 or GameCube Zeldas, and I never owned a handheld. Excluding the Switch, if you want to call the Switch a handheld. But yeah. Another game that I did not own, but I played the heck out of it when I used to stay the night over at my cousin's, was Battletoads and Double Dragon. And if anyone knows Battletoads and Double Dragon, you will know that game is bloody hard. It's a bloody hard game until you know how to handle it. I know, right? Wow! If you know how to handle something, it's not very difficult. I'm shocked. Pikachu sock face. But, I still have problems with the game in a couple areas, like the, space section, when you're controlling the ship, it's, bleh. That's usually where all my lives disappears on that section. And I never used the Battletoads, I always used the, Double Dragons, because they were just better, and you can infinitely loop with them. The last time I played that, I think I played with Flam Pop. And that was years and years and years ago. I think I streamed that, actually. Yeah, I did. I think Gamer would remember that. Is Gamer even around? Gamer, are you around? Gamer is not around. Sad face. Here's a game that I bet not many people know. And I never heard of it. I never even knew it existed until Papanomic bought it. And it is the weirdest game that I wonder what made him buy it. And it is called Super Ninja Boys. It was made by Enterbrain, I believe. And if I recall Enterbrain, that's the company that makes RPG Maker games. Or the RPG Maker's stuff. You know, like RPG Maker 2003, MB, all that stuff. I think it's the same people that made Super Ninja Boys. And that was like a weird mix of RPG and beat-em-up elements. It was a very weird game. Was it a fun game? It was okay. It wasn't a bad game, but I will say the random encounters got really annoying. Because you would get into fights like so much, and it's like, bruh! Please, I don't want to fight anymore. Just leave me alone, enemies. Enemies, please. Just go that way. The exit's over there. Exit 8. That away. Shinkansen 0. That away. Even though I never played it, a buddy of mine, I think it goes by Pumpkin now, but, I used to go over, and here's another thing that Papa Nomic may or may not know. I don't know if he's watching, but during the summer, when they used to have lunch over at, and there used to be lunch around noon, just a little distance away, and I would go there and get lunch, right? And this was when I was still in, like, elementary, middle school. There were times that I would just sneak over to this buddy's house of mine for a few minutes, and I used to watch him play, like, games and stuff. And that was the first time I saw Chrono Trigger, and where he was at in Chrono Trigger was, he was fighting Magus, and he kept dying to Magus, and eventually, before I left, he actually managed to win, and I think that was like one of the first times he beat Magus. I don't remember. It was my first time seeing the game, so I got to see the game at like one of the best parts of the game, and probably the hardest part of the game. No, I did not get to play Chrono Trigger until the PlayStation era myself. We'll get that in a little bit, but, yeah, just another, thing. I was a little sneaky little devil sometimes back in, my youth. Back when I was a little boyling. Not like it worked out all the time, though, I'll have you know. Not like it worked out all the time. So, another game that I owned, and I never beat this game, was Spider-Man and X-Men in Arcade's Revenge, I believe it was called. It was a weird Spider-Man X-Men game, and it was unbelievably difficult. Like, I cannot stress how hard this game was. Like, even the start of the game was stupidly difficult. And it's like, bruh, I don't know how people managed to beat that game. Even to this day, if I were to replay it, I don't know if I'd be able to beat it without save states. Maybe I should do a Revenge, series. Like Naka's doing. And speaking of Spider-Man, I did own the Spider-Man game. And I did beat that game. I don't remember that game very well. I'm gonna have to play that again someday. Because, if I recall, it was an okay game. And a game that I did not own, but did play, two games, actually. One was Real Monsters, which I never beat, by the way. And Beavis and Butthead, which I also never beat. Anyone remember Beavis and Butthead and Real Monsters? I'm gonna make you feel old for a second. Because those were many, many years ago. But yeah, those games were also pretty difficult. You do? I remember not really caring much for either one of those. I used to watch a lot of TV back then because I didn't really have a whole lot to do. But I didn't really watch, like, a lot of cartoons. I watched some, like Code Lyoko, Dragon Ball Z, G Gundam, Teen Titans, stuff like that. But I also watched things like Everybody Loves Raymond, Seinfeld, Friends, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Home Improvement, stuff like that I would watch a lot of. I don't remember Code Lyoko very much anymore. I do remember it being very weird, though. I remember it being very weird. And I remember back in middle school, I believe it was, where Theo, Garrick, and Pumpkin both used to watch Naruto a lot, the Japanese dub. And I remember going, man, this doesn't seem that interesting. Why are these guys watching it? Funny, you know, that I say that after, you know, many, many, many years later, I spent all that time watching every single Naruto episode and movie, and watched all of Boruto. And let me tell you, it wasn't worth it. It was not worth it to watch all of that at all. It wasn't worth it. The series isn't that good to me. It's not that good. It's not that good. So many fillers. So much filler. So much filler. What else for the SNES era? What else for the SNES era? There was a game called Spawn. I don't know how many of you actually played Spawn, but that game was also a difficult beat-em-up. The only reason I beat it was because I never used any of these special abilities. I didn't know how you could. But if you use special abilities, it drains from your life pool that you use to continue. So I would just never use a single power and beat the game. It wasn't until many, many years later that I learned that you had, like, fighting game inputs. And speaking of fighting games, my very first fighting game was on the SNES. And do you know what that is? Do you boylings know what fighting game I am referring to? It was Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I was no good at the game, by the way. I was awful at fighting games. I had a hard time even doing a Hadouken. I could not do a Hadouken properly to save my life. I still beat it. I never got to Akuma though, but I still beat it. Nowadays, I could probably do Street Fighter 2 fine, except, you know, the AI cheats. How I managed to beat the AI back then, I will never know. Especially with how bad I was. Ah. And my second fighting game on the SNES was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. This is a game that I never owned, but Down Destroyer owned. And I remember struggling with that game a lot. If you're wondering who I used Donatello and Raphael. That's who I used in that game. In Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I used... Who do you think I used in Street Fighter? Anyone who knows me will know exactly who I used in Street Fighter. I will let you guys guess. It's not hard. There's only 8 characters. There's only 8 characters. Or was it 10? How many were in there? That's the one that had Cammy, right? Yeah, that's the one that had Cammy. Give me just a second, if you will. Second a couple things. So, if you have not guessed, the character that I used was Blanca. Blanca was who I used the most. I also used Guile a lot, even though I was bad with Guile. I just like Guile. He just appealed to me, even though I was bad with him. And there was one other fighting game on the SNES. I used to be able to beat this game. If you watch my YouTube video of it, you will see I didn't even beat the first person in the game. Which makes me go, how did I do this as a boyling? How did I manage to do this? And it was Justice League Task Force. To this day, I don't know how I beat that game. Because the controls are so stiff, it is so bad, and I'm just like, how? How did you do this, young me? You managed to beat this game? Really? I don't believe you. I don't believe you, memory of mine. But I did beat it. I did, in fact, beat the game. I don't know how. I also don't remember how I managed to beat it, but the Jungle Book. Not the Jungle Book. I did play that, but I think I cheated on it. Because I'm like, I don't know how you beat this game. And I think I level skipped the very last level, so I don't count that as beating it. But the actual game I wanted to say was The Lion King. That game is freaking hard. Like, that game is unbelievably difficult. And I don't know how I managed to beat that game as a kid. When I did the LP of the game, I restarted levels so much you wouldn't be able to tell, because I would just restart the recording, because back then I was only able to get one level in per video. But I remember restarting some levels so many times. It was ridiculous. The first racing game, if Excite Bike doesn't count, because I don't remember if I had Excite Bike or not, but the first racing game I remember is Stunt Race FX. Now, you may have seen that on my YouTube channel. I don't know if I actually fully beat that game. That game was just bad. It was so bad. It was so It was like 30 FPS. I think it was 15 FPS. The frame rate was so bad, and controlling your car was like, ugh. I did not play F-Zero until, like, the Switch, actually, I think is when I first played F-Zero. What else did I used to play? On the SNES. Oh yeah! Mario is Missing. I actually played Mario is Missing. I did beat it. Would I say it's a good game? Not really. No. I don't think it was really that great of a game. Pac-Man's a better game than that game. And I'm not that great at Pac-Man. Papanomic's better at Pac-Man than I am. Mario is Missing is one that I used to play. Mario's Time Machine, if you could believe it, is a game that I used to play a lot. Because I used to love history. And I think that's why Papanomic got it for me, was because I used to love history a lot. I used to love to learn things when I was younger. I still like to learn things now and then, but like, I'm at that stage in my life where it's like, learning? I gotta spend time to learn all of this? You know, that kind of feeling? It's like, but I got other things I could do now. I gotta do all this other stuff, and I got more important things, like trying to find a job and all this other stuff. You know? But back then, I really, really liked learning, and Mario's Time Machine was honestly really good for that. And I got to the point where I was able to memorize a lot of the game. Not everything in the game, but I got to memorize a lot of the game. And I would spend, I used to spend hours on the surfing minigame. I don't know why. You don't do anything in the surfing minigame, but I would spend so much time there just surfing around, you know? Just, I'm gonna surf around like goo 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 goo. The music was popping too. How could I forget this? How could I forget this game? So, Mario was my first platformer, right? The SNES introduced another platformer to me. And this is another game that I played a lot. And I only owned the first one. I played some of the second, but I never owned it. I think I beat it. I don't remember. But, a game that I played a lot alongside Mario and Zelda, and Salty Ate My Neighbors, can't forget that, was Donkey Kong Country, the first. I want to do a speedrun of Donkey Kong Country so badly. I might do that someday. I don't know how well that's gonna go, because it's been a long time since I've done Donkey Kong. But maybe I'll do a speedrun of that just to see how it goes. But I love Donkey Kong Country. Maybe I'll do that as another segment one day. I gotta do something with my streaming, because I need to do a little bit more than just 2 games all the time. I need to like branch out a little bit, so it might limit stuff to once a week, which I'm not a big fan of doing. But, you know, it would make more interesting content, let's say. But I'll talk about that another time. On another stream. But Donkey Kong Country is such a great game. It's honestly a really good game. Do more sword games? I mean, normally I split up the long game with the sword game, you know? Normally I do one long game and a sword game. Right now I'm doing 2 long games, which is kind of, you know, hurting a little bit. Because Metal Gear Solid 3 is taking a little bit more time than I like. And Ho-Ho Fantasy is gonna take a while, which I knew it would, but you know. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But Donkey Kong Country, talking about that game. If you have not played Donkey Kong Country first, go play it. It's all got SNES Online for the Switch. Go play it. Am I close? Am I close to the end? I'm at, the Fury in that game. I just gotta beat the Fury, which... Speaking of Donkey Kong Country, and I have talked about this, the last person or people that I watched play Donkey Kong Country was Fuwawa and Mokoko. And not gonna lie, I was in pain. Like, I don't want to backseat anyone unless they want help. I didn't backseat anyone like they were playing like Super Mario RPG. Like, I watched Kiara, Callie, and Bijou play Super Mario RPG, but I didn't backseat any of them. I gave hints or whatnot whenever they needed it, but I tried to not backseat. But watching Fuwamoto play Donkey Kong Country is like, oh my god. They played it in a very interesting way, let's say. You can tell it was their first time playing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna fault anyone for how they play. Regardless if it's their first time playing, or if it's their 100th time playing. Everyone plays differently. We're not all the exact same. That's what makes us unique. Some are gonna be like, yeah, I can play this flawlessly in like 10 minutes. Others are gonna struggle. That's just how people are, okay? But, you know, even with that in mind, watching some people is like, please, you're making this way harder than it has to be. I'm 5/6 away from Metal Gear Solid 3, thank God. And there's no VR missions here, so I can be done with that game. What side content? What side content? There better not be any VR missions. I am gonna be upset if there are. I will refuse to do them this time. I will absolutely refuse to do VR missions this time. After Metal Gear Solid 2, no thank you. Here's the thing that people may not know, and I did own this game, along with the mouse. If you know exactly what I'm talking about, just with the mouse, the trackball mouse. Anyone remember the little trackball mouse with a really hard pad? I own that. I still have it, I believe. I don't know where it is. I'm sure it's somewhere hidden somewhere. But I used to have Mario Paint. Now, I did play Mario Paint a lot. I tried to use that to do art, My art was never that great on it because I was awful with the mouse. I'm still bad with the mouse. I just cannot do mouse. Like, mouse and me do not work with art. But I would play the fly minigame so much on there that I think the furthest I got on the fly minigame was looping it 3 times over. Which was like 4 hours of playing. That mouse got to the point where the mouse didn't track very well because I used it so much just for that minigame. I saw the video about the history of Mario Paint and how some artists today got their start from doing Mario Paint when they were in school. And I'm like, wow, that is honestly inspirational, it's inspiring, and it's just amazing that Mario Paint, of all things, got these people where they're at now. I kind of wish I got better at art myself, but alas, my wrists don't work very well for art. So much for art stuff. That and my OCD, because when it comes to art, OCD is the worst thing you can have. You do not want OCD. But yeah, I used to play Mario Paint a lot. Another game. I said that Stunt Race FX was my first racing game. That is a lie. There's one other racing game that I played so much, and I almost beat the world record on Rainbow Road on. There's your spoiler. I was like 1 or 2 seconds off the world record at that time. It was Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart. I would play that so much that I knew how to do all the shortcuts. I knew how to just murder in that game. And like, when me and friends would play it, I don't think I really ever lost. The last time I played it was several years ago when me and a bunch of buddies used to hang out and we were at the studio, at their studio, because they used to run a radio show. And we were at the studio and one of the studio people challenged me a Mario Kart because he beat everyone else in Mario Kart. And he challenged me, and I'm like, I told him, I'm like, I don't think you want to do this, man. I don't think you want to do this. And he's like, yeah, I think I can win. I'm like, okay. He didn't win a single time. It's just like, yeah, he had this, like, scoreboard of all the times he won. And he had none on the loser side for how many times he lost. He never won a single time against me. I'm just like, even though I haven't played this game in many, many years, it is so ingrained into my memory banks that I just automatically know how to play this game. I know all the tricks, I know all the secrets, I know what to do with this game. You're not winning that easily against me unless you've played this game just as much as I have. And here's the fun thing. That is the only Mario Kart game I played until the GameCube era. I think I played a little Super Mario Kart, or Mario Kart 64, but I never owned Nintendo 64. I used to play Contra 3 with Downstroyer. And I think we only beat it once. And by that, I mean, we got to the end and only one of us lived. I don't think we ever beat it with both of us living. because Contra 3 is a hard game. I mean, I beat it solo for my LP first try. I don't know how. I really don't know how, but, the only time I ever beat Contra 3, I remember playing it years and years ago over somewhere else, and never beaten it. That's the only Contra game I've ever played, by the way. There's also Super Smash TV. Anyone remember Super Smash TV? That is a game me, a Gown Destroyer, has never beaten. We have never beaten that game. I remember that game being stupidly difficult for no reason. You beat the first boss? I don't even remember how far me and him got. And you have to do such a specific way to get... You have to do it in such a specific way to get a real ending. That good luck. Why is there stuff all over my finger? What the heck? And here's a game that you guys saw me play. I think I streamed it. And I got very, very mad at it. And I don't know how me and Gown beat this game, if we did. Smash EV's console versions are... What do you mean it's the only beatable versions? Are the non-console versions, like, infinitely looping or something? But, another game that me and Gown, I don't know if we ever beaten, was Sunset Riders. And to this day, I question how I ever beat that game. Oh, arcade is set at a certain point, basically auto-killing. Yeah, that sounds about right for the arcade. That sounds about right for the arcade. But yeah, you guys probably saw me get super mad at Sunset Riders. And I don't know how I beat that as a kid. I remember the one boss that gave me the most trouble, and probably everyone else, was the Indian boss. That boss was so freaking unfair. And it's like, bro, how do you do this while dying? It was so unfair. It's like, ugh. I'm trying to remember all the SNES games. Ah, yeah, there it is. Super Mario World 2. Yoshi's Island. That is a game I never owned, I think. And that was a game I struggled with so much. I mean, I still have problems with that game today, but like, Yoshi's Island was just not a fun game to me. I honestly recall Yoshi's Island being just okay, and being frustrating. Especially if you want to 100% the game. It's just like, please! I just want to get this one game, but you're blocking me, and now I can't get it anymore. You know, things like that. Because games back then, they were not nice. Games were mean. They wanted you to replay stuff all the time. That's how you got good. Get good, they said. Get good. And speaking of getting good, here is a game I never owned. I have played. And I doubt, even to this day, I doubt I will ever beat this game. If anyone knows what game I'm talking about, it was for the Genesis. I never owned the Genesis. I played the Genesis version. And I think I played the SNES version. It is a game by Capcom. It is a notoriously difficult game by many people. Does that give you a clue? It's a Capcom game, notoriously difficult, and it's on the Genesis and SNES. If you guessed Super Ghouls and Ghosts, I have never beaten that game. In fact, I have never made it past level 2 in that game. That is one of the few games I have never gotten very far in. Because the controls were just so hard for me to deal with. Well, again, the only Contra game I ever played was Contra 3. So I did say that. But yeah, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I don't think I can ever beat that game. Even with save states, I don't think I could beat that game. It is just, it's too much for me. It is legitimately too much for me to go through. I'm gonna put on different music. I'm gonna put on this music. Hopefully this doesn't get copyright claimed or anything. So, here we go. We'll listen to this music for now. So, our SNES games, that I played and owned. Here's a game that I didn't own, but played. So, this was around the time when movies used to get a lot of games, right? I rented both of these games, I believe. I think Downstroyer had the first one. So, this particular game and its sequel, I played on SNES. If you don't know, it was... I played both of these for the YouTube... sorry. I played both of these on the YouTube channel. They were Home Alone and Home Alone 2. Home Alone and Home Alone 2. What if I told you that you never want to play either one of those games? Because those games are so terrible. They are so bad. They are not good games. They are legitimately not good games. I beat them both, mind you, but they are so bad. They are awful. I would not recommend either of them. Now, a game that I would kind of recommend that's based off of a movie is Hook. Hook is an okay game. It's a tough game, but Hook is an okay game. I also remember liking the movie. I loved the Hook movie. The Home Alone movies were okay too. But Hook was a pretty good movie. Robin Williams was a great actor. He was a very good actor. Another movie game that I didn't own, and I did beat this game. And I don't know how. I need to replay it at some point. Hopefully it just get like copyright claim a heck and back. Was Stargate. Anyone remember Stargate? Anyone? Anyone remember Stargate? That game was definitely a game of time. It was a difficult game, if I recall correctly. I don't remember much about it, though, is the thing. I don't remember much about it at all. What other games did I play? How could I forget these fighting games? I forgot about these fighting games. So, I keep forgetting fighting games. Street Fighter. Teenage Mutant Ninja Tournament Fighters. And Justice League Task Force. There was a fourth fighting game. And this should be an obvious one. I did this also for my YouTube channel. I streamed the games. The first three, I didn't finish the third one because I'm like, no, I am not playing the third one. It was Mortal Kombat. Now, we talked about Street Fighter and its cheating AI. Mortal Kombat's AI is even worse, I feel like, especially in 2 and 3. I did beat 3. I think the first of the 3 I had was Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Which was even worse, by the way, in terms of AI cheating, but, yeah. I did beat 1 and 3. I never played 2. 2 was the missing link for me. And honestly, I think there's a good reason, or I think it was good that I never played Mortal Kombat 2 as a kid. especially after having played it on stream, because, oh my god. Yeah, I did give up on Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. You know why? You saw how dumb that AI was, and I was just like, what? What is this AI? How did I beat this as a kid? I'm surprised I beat Mortal Kombat 2. I was on the verge of giving up on Mortal Kombat 2, but I'm like, I'm at the end. I am going to beat this one way or the other. Mortal Kombat 3, no thank you. I do not know how I ever beat that as a kid. And in terms of beat-em-ups, moving away from Mortal Kombat, in Mortal Kombat 1, for those who are wondering, I used Raiden. And story time, that Gal Destroyer would remember. For those who don't know, I used to be in Boy Scouts, and one of the things that we did in Boy Scout was we had a Mortal Kombat tournament. You had to pick one character, and that was the character you had to use the entire tournament, right? So Gal Destroyer picked, I think he used Johnny Cage, but his main was Kano, and they wouldn't let him switch. So he was stuck with Johnny Cage the entire time. Now, I played in the tournament, he played in the tournament, and ultimately, it was me against Gal Destroyer in the finals. And I remember him telling me that he was scared playing me because he knew that I knew how to play the game. Here's the funny thing. I lost to him. And do you want to know why I lost? And I think this is how he won every fight. I'm not sure. He infinite hit me in the corner. He uppercutted me and just infinite hit me. He did that punch infinite when you can't do anything about it. That's how he won. I remember being so upset about that way back when. Because I'm like, I struggled so hard to get that, and then I lost that. I mean, kudos to him for winning the tournament with a character that he never used. But man, it was frustrating. I was like, I lost to an infinite? Really? This is how I lose? But you know, again, kudos to him for winning that tournament. I will applaud him. And I will applaud him now. Maybe not back then. I probably didn't applaud him back then. I probably wouldn't beat the crap out of him back then. Not that I would have been able to, but you know. You know. Now, one of the beat-em-ups that I played a lot as a kid, A Gamer Is Me, played this with me, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. This is a game that I absolutely love. I love this game. It's such a great game. I love it. And I will play it all the time. Now, if I have the Turtles collection, I would do the arcade version. I don't have the Turtles collection, sadly. I don't even know if that's for PlayStation 4 or for the Switch. I think that's PS5 only, right? I don't know. I did play the original Turtles on the NES. I never owned it. I never beat it here. But Turtles in Time, I love that game. It's such a great beat-em-up, and it's fun to play with people. I use Scarlet Hello, because of course I'm going to use the person who has the best reads. Because I don't like people getting near me, I'm going to poke you. Anyone that plays me in fighting games will know I play for people that poke. It's on everything. I wonder why I never find it for anything but PS5 then. Ugh. Oh my god, this is a game that I owned as a kid. And I did beat this as a kid. Does anyone remember? It's another movie game. It's another movie game, so you can imagine it's not that great of a game. It was Jurassic Park 2 on the SNES. Getting the good ending on that game is so hard because you have to do it in a specific order, I believe, and you have to do very specific things in order to get the true ending. And it was so easy to mess up. It was so easy to die. It was like, I think it was two-player too. I think that just made it harder. Some two-player games just make the game harder, like Contra did. Zombies Ate My Neighbors really did. And I believe that game did too. Star Fox is not a game I owned nor played. I remember Downscroyer owned it. I don't know if he ever beat it. Here's a funny thing. So, speaking of games with movies, I didn't own this game, but I did play it. Does anyone remember a beat-em-up for the Power Rangers movie? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. The one that had Ivan Ooze. Now, I remember, I think I streamed this. I don't remember if I streamed it or if I, you remember? Good. Good. I remember that game being pretty difficult, too. And who do you think I used in that game? Not gonna really... I don't think it really matters which ranger you use. But who do you think I used? I forgot how good Paxley's theme is in Ho-Ho Fantasy. If you guessed the Pink Ranger, it's the Pink Ranger that I used. Why? I don't know, I like her. I just like her, so I used her a lot. I think I used blue a little bit, I don't remember. I don't remember all of the Rangers that I used, but I did remember using the pink one. Now, Power Rangers was not my thing. That was more my sister's thing. She loved Power Rangers. But I do remember watching it with her a few times back in my youth. Not that much though. Back then I used to watch things like Gargoyles, Super Mario World, I don't even remember what was on around that time. I don't remember what was on TV. Because that was back when cable was a thing. Would it surprise you that I never played a single Kirby game until I started doing Let's Plays? Not a single Kirby game until I started doing Let's Plays. Yes! So, here's another game by Capcom. And it's based off of a comic cartoon series. I actually think it's a good game. It is called X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. It is a side-scrolling beat-em-up. It has fine game inputs in it, by the way, so you can do like Soryuken, Hadokens, etc. I think it's a really good beat-em-up. It can get difficult, yes. Especially in some levels, like Apocalypse's level. That level is rough. Especially if you have the wrong character. Who do you think I used the most in that game? You can pick whether Cyclops, Beast, Gambit, Psylocke, and Wolverine. Who do you think was my most used character? I actually used 3 characters. But I used one the most. Any guesses? Gambit was my second most used character. I do like Gambit. I think Gambit's a really awesome character. I like his design. I like how I like his powers too. But Psylocke is my third most used character. My most used character is Wolverine. I actually love using Wolverine in that game. Because, lo and behold, I love rushing down that game. And Wolverine is so good with his moves in that game. He's got great movement speed. He's great at rushing down. He's just such a good character. Dude, Cyclops is awful. I hate using Cyclops because he's so slow. Like, he's so slow, he gets hit so easily. But yeah. Wolverine, the best character in the game. He's not my favorite X-Men. I think that might go to Gambit. But I do like Wolverine. Let me look. Yeah. I also did a Let's Play of this. I don't think I streamed it, but I did the Tom and Jerry game for SNES. I don't know if I actually owned that game. I don't think I owned that game, but the Tom and Jerry game. I do remember being a really difficult game. It's an okay platformer. I don't think it's really that great of a game. I mean, you could give it a try, but it might be a little frustrating. Not as frustrating as one of the Mickey Mouse games. I don't remember which Mickey Mouse game it was, but I remember it being super hard. I think it was like... I don't remember which game it was. It's not the Magical Quest. I did beat that game. And I did not own that, but I did beat that game. Which Mickey game was it? There's so many Mickey Mouse games that I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was Great Circus Mystery? I remember there being a water level early on with waves. With like tidal waves. I remember that. It might have been Mickey Mania. Did I play Castle of Illusion? I did the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. That's the only SNES one I played, apparently. Huh. I wonder if I should do the other Mickey Mouse games. So here's a fun one. Did you know, as a young boyling, I actually played some sports games? So, both of these games I broke super hard. At the point that I couldn't lose, ever. So there was a game called NCAA Football that I played a lot. At the point where I would get the ball, run all the way back to my goal line, and then throw the ball to my catcher, catch the ball, and just run to the end zone from my own goal line every time. I just knew how to seize the game every time. And Hardball 3, which was a baseball game, which... There was a point in Hardball 3 where I was making home runs every single swing. And there was one time that I eventually ended the game with the opponent at 0 home runs. And I had like 250 home runs. Do you think I knew how to seize games? Do you wonder how I am so good at seizing stuff? Because I did stuff like that back then. Like all the time. I would know how to just seize stuff left and right. I will be right back. I need to get something to drink, so give me a second. I need to take a little quick break there, because I was getting a little lightheaded, because I'm talking so much. You would think that, with how much I talk, I wouldn't get lightheaded as much, but it still happens from time to time. This is why I do Zatsudan, so I can, build up tolerance, and, get better speaking, get better, overall talking. I don't know if my talking is doing very well. I haven't been focusing on, my voice. I'm trying to focus on it right now. I don't know if it sounds better than, how I've been talking, or if it's the same or whatnot. Anyways, looking at this list. That is it for the SNES era. So I did own a... Oh, wait, no, never mind. So this is a game that me and... Excuse me. Me and Down Destroyer played a lot. He owned the game. And that game was Final Fight. So, we used to play Final Fight a lot. And I love Final Fight. Final Fight 1 is a really great beat 'em up. It can get a little hard later on, but I think Final Fight is such a great choice. Or a great choice. A great game. Like, I feel like that is one of the better beat 'em ups of that era. I did play Streets of Rage. Y'all saw me stream that 1, 2, and 3. I think Final Fight's better than Streets of Rage, honestly. I think Final Fight's probably one of the best beat 'em ups. 2 and 3 are good as well, but I think the first one is still the best one. That might be nostalgia talking, but, it is what it is. It did have co-op, didn't it? I think the SNES one had 2-player. So, that is the end of the SNES era. So, what do you think I played after the SNES era? What came out? So, after the SNES era, there was the N64, and there was, the PlayStation, right, the PSX. So, between the PlayStation and the N64, which one do you think I got next? It should be very, very obvious which one I got next, judging from what all I play. For those of you who do not know, it was the PlayStation. I decided, you know what? I want to try the PlayStation. I've been playing Nintendo my whole life. Let me try the PlayStation. So, I think the main reason that I wanted to try the PlayStation was because of Final Fantasy VII. Because I saw Down Destroyer play it, and he was playing Emerald Weapon. And I remember playing it over at Pumpkin's house when I slept over there. And I was enamored by the game. And I wanted to give it a try. I don't remember if that was the first game I had for PlayStation. I don't remember what the first game was. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII would be my first Final Fantasy game. You can probably tell why. Or you can tell why it's my first Final Fantasy game. It's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games, despite all the flaws it has. And I've played it so much. I've played it over 100 times. Well over 100 times in my lifetime. So I know the game like the back of my hand, okay? Like the back of my box here. You want to open my box? Come on, open the box. Go away, box. But, yeah, I just love the game. I played it so much. And, like, I remember struggling with that game for the first few playthroughs. And then eventually, you know, I got good at the game. I figured out how to do everything. That was the first game where I wrote down everything. Like, all the enemy encounters, all the EXP from every enemy encounter, all the money, all the items you can get, what you can steal, where you can find things, what material you get, everything. I had a huge freaking document for the game. I don't even know if I have that anymore. But like, I documented that game a lot. And I found some glitches on my own before, you know, the internet. Like the WIM glitch was one of them I found on accident. That was when I was trying ultimate weapon and I was gonna use 2 items. I used one and then ultimate weapon was in the process of running away. And so it canceled my item and I kept trying to use it and canceling. And I noticed that my item count kept going up. And then I figured out how to abuse that. So now whenever I play FF7, I just abuse the WIM glitch. Because it's like, you know, I'm gonna farm for all these elixirs and make elixirs anyways. I'm just gonna save myself time. There's no reason to, you know, spend time farming them. If I could just do it this way. Other Final Fantasies. I played all the Final Fantasies on PlayStation except for Final Fantasy Tactics. Downstroyer tried to get me to play that. I didn't like it. I died in the tutorial. I died in the tutorial. And I never went back to the game after that. And it took many years later for me to actually play it on stream. I think I played it on stream. I played it eventually. And it's one of my favorite games. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. Like, SRPGs usually are not my thing. But Final Fantasy Tactics is such a great game. It's really a good game. And I love Ramsa and Galita. They're both great characters. And you know, you can't forget Ultima. Right? Does anyone know who Ultima is? No? Nobody knows Ultima? I mean, I don't blame you. You only see her, like, once at the very end of the game. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, and a story about Final Fantasy VIII. I think I told this before when I did the Final Fantasy game tier list. I'll tell you again. There was one night that I snuck the game controllers out of my parents' room and was playing Final Fantasy VIII. What I was doing was, I was at the desert, the Koskovo Desert, I think it's called, grinding cactars. And I'm finding cactars, right? And then I look over to my left, for no reason, and I just see my mom stand there with her arms crossed, looking at me. And we looked at each other for like half a minute silently. And then the thing that comes out of my mouth is, "Can I save my game, please?" And her response like, You have a lot of guts to ask that. I'm just like, I got grounded, but like... I just remember that. Just like, can I please save my game? I spent like 2 hours grinding. I don't want to grind 2 hours again. At like 2 o'clock in the morning. When I have school the next day. I was rambunctious little thing back then, let me tell you. I also owned the Final Fantasy IX. I had the Final Fantasy Chronicles, which had, Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger, which was my first time playing Chrono Trigger. By the way, I love Chrono Trigger. It's such a great game. But don't play the DS version. The DS version is not that great. If you're gonna play Chrono Trigger, play the original SNES version. Don't play the PlayStation version because the load times are awful in the PlayStation version. It is so bad. It takes like 10 seconds to load the fight and unload the fight. And it takes like 10 seconds to load a new map. There is so much loading in that game. It's awful. Not recommended to play the PlayStation version of Chrono Trigger. Same with Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI. Don't play the PlayStation versions. Because the load times are also bad. And I don't know if it was me, or if it was my disc, but FF5 would glitch out on me sometimes where colors would just glitch the crap out. And the screen would just get garbled. Like, I don't know what happened, but it would do that so often. I don't know if my disc got scratched. It sounds like it might have been the disc, but you know. Also, I do like Final Fantasy V. I do love Final Fantasy VI. They're both great games. Final Fantasy IV is a good game. Will I ever redo those games? Maybe. If I do, it would have to be the Switch or Steam versions. Which is FF1 through 6, but you know. Same with any of the other FFs, like FF7, 8, 9. If I ever redo those, it would have to be the remaster versions of the games. Let me think. So, Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which was Final Fantasy Origins. I remember not liking either of those games. So FF1 I did beat once. And I save scummed the crap out of that game, because there was quick save. I didn't like FF1, like at all. And FF2 I never beat originally. I got the final boss in FF2. I couldn't win. I got hard locked at the final boss. I couldn't beat him. I didn't have Blood Sword. And he would just out-damage whatever damage I did. I just couldn't win. And at that point, leveling up was such a pain in the butt. So I never beat FF2 for PlayStation. I did own Digimon World 1, 2, and 3. I only beat Digimon World 2 once. And that took like 6 months ago. I've been considering if I want to stream that game, because that game is a very long game. It's a very long game. It took me 6 months to beat the game, okay? Digimon World 1 is okay. It's nothing super special, but, if you know how to seize the game, you can beat the game in one day. I did that with my sister's save file, where she let me play her save file, and I beat it within the same day. Start the game up, beat it the same day, with the very same first Digimon. I don't know how. I have no idea how I did it. But I managed to do it. Digimon World 3 is a weird game. And that's another game I'm debating if I want to stream or not, because, honestly, it's a really weird game. It's a very weird game. And, it will also be a slog to go through. Because without the right accessory, it takes forever, it feels like, to kill things. I also have Digimon Card Battle, which I believe I streamed, or did a Let's Play of anyways. I played that a lot. I tried to 100% the game, and there was like one card that I could never get. And I don't know what that card was. To this day, I don't think I ever got that card. I think it was like a gem or something. I used to be able to cheese that game pretty hard, too. Now, a fighting game that I use to cheese a lot in is Digimon Rumble Arena. Has anyone ever played Digimon Rumble Arena? The, like, Smash-like fighting game for PlayStation? It's kind of like Smash. There were so many ways to cheese that player, the AI in that game, that it was like, it was dumb. It was honestly really dumb. I also had a Beast Wars game. It was an arena fighter. I think it was called Beast Wars Transmos. It's not a very long game. I might stream that one day. It's not very long, though, and it's very easy to seize. So, you know, I might do it. I might do it someday. And a game that I played a lot, also another movie game, was Die Hard Trilogy. Anyone play this? There was 3 games. Die Hard, which was like a third-person shooter game. What's a third person? Yeah, you can see your character, so you can run around, shoot, etc. Rescue the hostages. It was a fun game. It's hard, but it's a fun game. Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is a first-person auto-scroll shoot 'em up. Very difficult. Very difficult. Especially if you're trying to do it legit. These games do have cheats in them. You can enable them. But they are still difficult. And then Die Hard. No, Die Hard 2 Die Harder. And Die Hard with Vengeance was the third game. Which was a drive around in a car and defuse bombs. That's what Die Hard 3 was about. I didn't play the third game very much. I played the first one the most. And story time. There was this one. There was a hostage, I believe. There there was some particular NPC, I don't remember if it was an enemy or a hostage, that if they died, I would just stop playing because I would feel bad. The reason why is because I know this is going to sound silly, but if I looked at it, it looked like my dad. You know, I'm just like, I don't want to see that happen. I don't like seeing that happen. You know? And I just felt bad if anything happened to that particular NPC. So I would just stop playing if something happened to that NPC. Now, eventually I got over that, but like, that was always something that was prominent early on whenever I played the game. Yeah. I used to play Street Fighter Alpha 3 for the PlayStation. Now, I wasn't very good at that game either. And, of course, I used Blanca. Why wouldn't I use Blanca? I also used Akuma, I think I used. I don't remember if I used Akuma back then or not. But, I remember seizing the game there with Blanca all the time. Because the AI was dumb and would just get hit by his electric thunder all the time. So that's why I used Blanca. I would just seize it. I actually played the first Tekken, but that was a game that Destroyer owned, and I was awful at it. Will I ever play the Tekken series? I don't know, honestly. I have no idea. Because the Tekken series is a weird fighting game series for me. It's kind of like Soul Calibur in a way, but, you know, different from Soul Calibur. I don't know. Tekken never really interested me, in all honesty. Would it surprise anyone that I actually played and made a game, 1.5 years of working on it, I made a game of the PlayStation version of RPG Maker. Yes, I actually made a game of that thing. 1.5 years I spent on it. Start to finish. Let me tell you how bad it was doing a keyboard with a controller. Also, it took up 4 memory cards. 4 full memory cards to play the full thing. It was not very space efficient. Give me a second, let me go check on the puppers. You can listen to Hope's theme in the meantime. By the way, I still own these PlayStation games. You know, I think they're in a cardboard box under my bed. So by the way, I cannot play Castlevania Symphony of the Night on console. That wasn't until I LP'd it, so that's when I first played Castlevania. So a game that me, a Destroyer, were looking forward to for the longest time. We used to play this on a demo disc. You have 4 characters and only 2 stages. But we loved the concept of the game. It felt like a fun game. It felt like it was going to be a really fun game. Destroyer got it from online. He bought the game. We played it. I also streamed this game, by the way. And it turned out the game wasn't that great in the end, sadly. Which was Destraga. Does anyone remember when I streamed Destraga? The story mode for that game was so bad. And like, I think the gameplay would have been better if it was 2 players, but like, Destraga was so bad. And it's the same because it felt like it was going to be so good when we played demo disc. By the way, anyone remember demo disc? Anyone remember those demo discs? I remember I used to get demo discs from like Pizza Hut. From magazines. I used to be able to get demo discs all the time. I remember playing one of the Crash Bandicoot games on demo disc. And I played Spyro 1 on a demo disc and Metal Gear Solid. Man, those were the days. Speaking of Metal Gear Solid, I never owned it, but I did play it on console. And I remember I used to play it so much that I was able to speedrun that game in about 3 to 6 hours. I think. It was somewhere around there, but like, that's why I kept going. Maybe I should do a speedrun of Metal Gear Solid 1 for the stream, but I haven't had practice on that game, and honestly, we got so many other things to do that I don't know if we want to spend time doing a speedrun on Metal Gear Solid. What other PlayStation games were there? Let me look. PlayStation. Oh my god, I forgot about this. I streamed both of these, but I only played one of them on console, and it was Bushido Blade. Anyone remember Bushido Blade? I did stream them. So Bushido Blade was an arena fighter, where it's very easy to die in one hit, by the way. Me and Destroyer loved to play this game. And he would always use the freaking Naginata, the longest reaching weapon. And I would almost always use the Katana. It was a struggle. It was definitely a struggle. But we played that so much. It was such a fun game to play with other people. It was also very basic, all things considered. Yeah. Very, very basic. We also played a lot of Twisted Metal 2. Who remembers Twisted Metal? I don't even think that's around anymore, right? I have not heard anything about Twisted Metal in so long. I would assume that Twisted Metal died out, finally. But I remember playing Twisted Metal 2 a lot. And I remember all the codes for that game, too. So it would be like, yeah, we could go at these levels. Heck yeah. Let's go at this level. Let's unlock these characters. Let's do all these other cool things. And I remember playing Whiskey Mo 3 on demo disc, but I don't remember liking Whiskey Mo 3 very much. Thank you, Malware Bites. Go away, Malware Bites. And here is another racing game that me and Gal Destroyer played a lot of. Does anyone remember Jet Moto? Anyone? Anyone know Jet Moto? Jet Moto 2 is what we played a lot of. And the funny thing is, there were some levels that I was the best at, and some levels that he was always the best at. Like, no matter how good we played on specific levels, if that was our best levels, we never lost all those levels. No matter how good the other one played. It was wild. And that game was freaking hard, dude. It was so freaking hard. I used to play it. I used to play it and finally beat it. Because I don't think I've ever beaten it. Oh yeah, here's another game I'm thinking of redoing. Raul actually did this game. Does anyone know of a game called Evil Zone? Anyone? Anyone remember Evil Zone? Yes? No? If you don't know Evil Zone, Evil Zone, was a 3D fighter. It was a one-button fighting game, which was very unique. Very unique. Give me a second. I think Gamer was around when I did this game too. I don't remember. Yeah, I never got to play the full version of Whiskey Mo 3. Give me a second. Yeah, I never... Okay, I had to check my stream real quick. Sorry about that. But yeah, Evil Zone I thought of redoing because the old LP is so decent. But like, I don't know, man. That takes a little bit of time to do all the story modes. Like, it's an interesting game. It's got a little bit of depth to it too, honestly. But like, I used to play that a lot. And I used to use, Kea. Kea was the one I used the most. If anyone knows who Kea is. Kea, Hempoin. Of the Hempoin clan. I just like that guy. That guy was... I like his personality. I like his design. I don't know why. He was a pretty generic dude, really. I also used Galley and Arrow because, you know, who wouldn't use Arrow? And Setsuna. I like using Setsuna a lot. Other games for PlayStation. Hey guys! I'm gonna make you feel old now. Has any of you played a certain game called Rampage World Tour? Has any of you who has played Rampage World Tour ever beaten it? Because you can beat the game. There is a finality to it. It just takes freaking forever to get to. It takes so long to get to the final stage. And it's like, just let me end the game. You have unlimited continues, as long as you hit the start button before your character runs off screen with a guy. It's very, very generic though. It's like, there was a GameCube version? Weird. Like, I don't know, I might show the PlayStation version at some point. I kind of want to show off some of these games at some point, just so you guys get to see them. And so I could go, oh my god, I played this game? Ugh. How can I forget these games? So, I don't own either of these games. But, let's talk about them. Let's talk about the good games that I played first. And this is a game that Warlord owned and let me borrow a lot. Which was Valkyrie Profile. Valkyrie Profile is probably one of my favorite RPGs. I just love that game. It's a very, very good game. It's very repetitive, yes. But I think Valkyrie Profile is a great game. It just takes forever for the game to start. Before you can actually play the first dungeon of the game. That's not the tutorial dungeon, I think. It takes like an hour. 1 hour! Before you get to actually play the game. It's like, please, stop talking and let me play. And like, while I do like the game, I understand the game's story. And I understand why I could get it, the way I could get it. Like, most of the characters you kind of don't really care about. Because it's like, yep, they're only going to get this much character development. And then, you know, that's it. That's all the character development they get. And then, you know, you send some of them to Valhalla and never use them ever again. So, if I ever replay the game, it will be... If I ever replay the game, it will be PSP version. And I will be using a guide. Because I don't remember how to get the true ending. And it's very annoying, to say the least, to get the true ending. Yeah, I will be playing on hard mode. That is the thing I will be doing. Give me just a second. I'm checking something real quick. Checking something real quick. Okay. So the other game that we're going to talk about, which is a terrible game, don't ever play this game. If you play this game, it's on you. It's the very first game of the entire series, I believe. I don't know if there's any other games before this. I didn't own this. Warlord owned it, and I used... This is the only game I really used GameShark on. And that was also a thing that Warlord owned, was a GameShark. If you're wondering what game is so bad that Xeno would use a GameShark on, What if I told you it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories? Am I justified in using GameShark now? Anyone that has played the game, am I justified in using a GameShark for that game? Uh-huh. I say yes, I was very justified. I was very justified. Because that game is awful. It's bad. It doesn't teach you the mechanics. It doesn't follow the rules of the card game. There's no effect monsters. There's no, like, getting cards is a pain in the butt. The fusions don't make sense. And, like, your first opponent is just throwing out Blue Eyes White Dragon, and your best monster is a Picuri Fox that you have to fuse for. It's not a very good game. It's awful. If I sold that game, I will more than likely put in the codes to get all of the stuff. Just so we can go through the game quickly. Now, we move on to the PlayStation era. And from the PlayStation era, yeah, your skirt deck is random. It depends on the name you put in. So, the PlayStation era is over. We are done with the PlayStation era. So now we move on to the next era of gaming for Sonomic. The PlayStation 2. Now, keep in mind, I did play some N64, I did play some GameCube, I did play some Dreamcast, some Xbox, some Genesis. I'm talking about the consoles. I'm talking about the stuff that I owned growing up. So, we go from the NES, the SNES, the PlayStation, and now the PlayStation 2. Utsuho, your music is loud! So, PlayStation 2. We have Final Fantasy X, which I think is one of the better Final Fantasy games. I love Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X-2, not so much! Not so much. I'm not a big fan of Final Fantasy X-2. It's kind of not that great. Mostly because of how tedious everything is in that game. It's very, very tedious. Give me just a second. I will be right back. Gotta go check out doggos and, you know, go somewhere in the void, if you know what I mean. I find it absolutely hilarious when I go upstairs to check on dogs, and they're both asleep, just laying upside down on their back. Like, what are you doing? Why are you laying on your back like that? Silly dogs. You're both silly. You're all silly. So yeah, Final Fantasy X and X2 are games that I own. I borrowed the Final Fantasy 12 from, Warlord. I did beat it. I did, in fact, beat Final Fantasy 12. Did I like Final Fantasy 12? Not really. I wasn't really a big fan of Final Fantasy 12. Mostly because I wasn't a fan of the MMO aspect. I am not an MMO player. The one time I tried was a free trial of World of Warcraft that, Destroyer let me try, and I was bored. I was like, I don't like this. It's not entertaining to me. I also tried StarCraft 2 back in the day, which I wouldn't be able to play anymore anyways, because I don't have a, CD drive, and I don't know where my StarCraft 2 is. But I wasn't a big fan of that either. Hilariously, I was doing the first mission of the DLC, which is stupidly hard, and I almost beat it. I almost beat the first level of the DLC on my first try of ever playing the StarCraft game. That does not mean that I'm ever going to play it, though. I'm not a big fan of it. Give me just a second. 1 second. Alright. Give me just a second. Have to do that real quick. Alright, so. Yeah, so Final Fantasy X, X2, and 12 I did play and beat. I own King of Fighters 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 11, Maximum Impact, and 2006. This is around the era that I got into King of Fighters. Now, was I any good at King of Fighters? Not really. I played 2003 and 11 the most. I think 11 is the one that me and Theo played the most. And I would always go with a team of Athena, Haru, even though I was awful with Haru, and Harry, I believe. Sometimes I would use Maxima because, you know, the roller skate move. Oh no, my main, the character that I mained the most, who do you think was my main in King of Fighters? Who do you think I used the most in the King of Fighters series? It might surprise you, it might not surprise you. I don't really use them that much anymore. I kind of moved to a couple other characters, but this character I used to use a lot. And I used to be semi-decent with the character. Give me just a second. Second. For those who have not guessed, that character was Mai. I was actually pretty decent with Mai back in the day. Not so much now. My Mai's not very good anymore. So, while I did play King of Fighters 2003 and 11 a lot, there's a couple other fighting games that me and Theo played all the time. One of them was Capcom vs. SNK 2, which I randomly found at the GameStop here in town, and I just bought it on a whim. Luckily I did, because I never saw another version of it ever again. Now I'm like, boy, I wonder if Blanca gets the thing here. Blanca does not do the thing there. I remember, like, oh, he doesn't do the thing. But all these characters are fun to play, so I'm gonna try playing this a lot. And I did, and I loved it. I loved the game. Capcom vs. SNK 2 is a very fun game. I am not that great at it, so don't expect me to be, like, super amazing. I think me and Hate played it once, a long time ago. Eventually, we will play more Fight Cave. Eventually, whenever that happens. Another fighting game that me and Theo played a lot was Street Fighter 3 Bird Strike, as part of the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. We also played Street Fighter 2 a lot there. Theo got to the point where he would just throw loop you to death, and there's nothing you could do, and it got really annoying, and like, nobody ever wanted to play him, because he would just throw loop you, with Chun-Li and Bison. But we did play Bird Strike a lot. Now, I was no good at the game, I feel like. I was okay. I used Akuma. Akuma, Remy, and Gugly, I think, were the ones I used. Now, you would think, hey, you parry a lot in, like, other games, right? Like in, Resident Evil 4 Remake, in, Smash. You parry a lot, right? When you're good at parrying in Bird Strike? The answer is no. I never actually learned how to parry in Bird Strike, so I don't even know how to parry right in that game. And I don't know if I have the reaction time to parry in that game. I also have Street Fighter EX3. Yeah, Street Fighter EX3 I have. Which is a weird game. It's a very weird Street Fighter game. I don't remember much about it, though. I streamed it. I remember streaming it, but I don't remember it. I remember it being weird. And yeah, I remember you press forward at the right moment to parry. But you also press down to parry, like, in the air. Or, if you're on the ground, you press down to parry low attacks. I was never really any good at that, because it was really quick. You had to basically read what your opponent was going to do, and I was never good at that. Another fighting game series that started on the PlayStation 2. And I love this series, but it could get very frustrating. And we played a lot of this. Soul Calibur 2! And Soul Calibur 3, but mostly 2. We played so much Soul Calibur. So much Soul Calibur. I remember I would sit there and grind in Weapon Master mode, and I got to level 98. I tried so hard to get a max level, and I just couldn't. I don't know what the max level is. I don't know how you do it. So I was always like one level off. And I would spend days upon days upon days grinding, trying to get that level. I never got it. I also grinded in Howard Defense mode in Soul Calibur 3 to get a level 99 with all my characters. I didn't really play that mode very much. But like, we played so much. I was a Mitsurugi player. Mitsurugi was my main. He's always my main. He's probably the best character I have. And honestly, with Mitsurugi, I don't really do anything complex with Mitsu. I just poke a lot. And 50-50 mix-up a lot. And guard break a lot. I also made Sungmina. And I also made Cervantes. Now, I don't use Cervantes really at all in Soul Calibur 6. And I don't use Sungmina that much anymore. I also use Sophia. Now, my Sophia's not that good anymore. I was okay with her. I used some Harlem. I remember Harlem being really annoying. A fight. Really annoying. I used her in Soul Calibur 6 sometime. I also used Sangwa in Soul Calibur 6. Sangwa is not a character I use in other games. But I got okay with her in 6. I remember we tried to fight Nighthare a lot of the highest difficulty. And it's like, Nighthare! Nighthare! Any of you that saw my Soul Calibur 3 stream knows exactly what I'm talking about with Nighthare. It's just bad. So, a fun thing. I streamed this. I streamed it. I never played it on console, but I streamed this. And any of you that were around will know how bad these games were. It is the Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 1. This had Fatal Fury, Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury Special, and Fatal Fury 3. Anyone that saw those streams, you will know I will not recommend any of those games. Maybe to play against other people? Not arcade mode though. I would, Don't ever play arcade mode. SK boss syndrome is real. It's real and it will hurt you. It will hurt your soul. It will make you cry. Axl Rose is gonna punch you so badly. You're gonna hate Axl Rose. Was it Axl? I think it was Axl, right? I think it was Axl. But like, it's so crusty and bad and Now, let's talk about a couple fighting games that we played a lot. One I own, one I do not own. I do not own the third game. Yeah, stupid boxer man got inputs read. So, I thought about streaming these games. However, because of copyrights and stuff like that, I don't know if I ever will stream them. I really don't know. I don't know how the stream will work with them. This is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 and 3. We used to play the Budokai games a lot. Now, I was awful at the third one, but I was great at the second one. Like, my Krillin went hard in DBC in Budokai 2. I was a Krillin main. I made everyone hate Krillin because they would hear Destructo Disc! Destructo Disc! And they're like, oh my god, it does so much damage! I'm like, yeah! Krillin! You over there with your Kid Buu, you over there with your Vegeta, I'm just over here destructing disking. Yeah, I do. If you can look into if those are streamable without issues, that'd be great. Because I'd love to give Budokai 2 a try again. Because it's been so long. It's been so long. The thing is, the Budokai games will probably destroy your control sticks. Because, if you try to do classes, you have to rotate the, stick. And you have to do that really quick and really fast. And, you know, that might cause, stick drift. Oh my god, I forgot about this fighting game. So, I also did this on stream, I believe, if I didn't stream it. Anyone remember Capcom Fighting Evolution? Anyone remember Capcom Mugen? The Mugen game? What if I told you I actually played that game a lot, and back then I actually liked the game? What if I told you back then, when I played that game, I used Dimitri and Jagga and Ingrid. Dimitri, Jagga, Ingrid, Ryu were the main ones that I used. Is it a good game? Not really. But it's a fun little game to mess around in. It's also how I got introduced to Darkstalkers. I did play Darkstalkers 3 with Theo. He had the Japanese version. So he imported it. He had like a Japanese PS2, I think. So we would play that way. He used to import games a lot for PS2 and GameCube. That's how we played one of the Naruto games. But Capcom Fighting Evolution, I actually wrote guides for characters. Were they good guides? Probably not. Probably not. They were very similar, honestly, to one another. Also, that is how I got introduced to Midnight Bliss. I saw that happen, and I was just like, what is this move? What is happening? Why is everyone becoming little girls or just females? Why does the dragon have a schoolgirl body with a dragon head? Why is Ryu, a little tiny girl. It was a very weird thing to experience, I will tell you that. The whole thing about Midnight Bliss, and the whole thing with Anacharus and his Pharaoh's curse. It's like, Ryu's a punching bag with a cat in it. Suddenly it's now a robot. Guile's a Muppet! Why is Guile a Muppet? It was a very weird game. And here's another game I own. I never really played it much. It's another fighting game. And it's a game you probably would not expect me to have. It's another 3D arena fighter. Kind of like Tekken. Can you guess the name of the game? I'm gonna change the song. The song we don't need to hear. We're gonna go here. If you do not guess the name of the game was Dead or Alive 2. Anyone ever watched Dead or Alive 2? Anyone? Anyone watched? Anyone ever played Dead or Alive 2? Because that game was definitely a game, not gonna lie. I don't think I played it very much. I don't think it was my kind of a game, but like, it's the only Dead or Alive game I ever played. I don't even remember it. I remember nothing about that game at all. Nothing at all. Here's another fighting game. I used to own it. I don't know what happened to it. I don't have it anymore. It was called Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. I don't know where that game is. I don't know what happened to it. I don't think I ever beat that game. I remember watching Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't think the show ever finished on cable though. I think it kind of just ended randomly. Kind of like Inuyasha. Speaking of Inuyasha, I did play the PlayStation Inuyasha game. It's as bad as you think it is. It's as bad as you think it is. So there's that. I also own, and I love this game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses! It is a very unique Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. I think it's a very great game. It's a challenging game too. Getting all the cards is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's a great game. The only downside is when you play against another person, you can see what cards you have, so it's like, if you don't want your hand to be revealed, you basically have to like never look at the screen until they say they're done. And then you have to hope that they're not looking at the screen when your hand pops up. You know, basically a, I trust you, you trust me kind of deal. I might stream that game someday. If I recall, it had issues on, PC X2. But I'll see about it and see if it actually, you know, works or something. They might have fixed it. I haven't upgraded my PS2. I have not upgraded my legit PS2 in forever, you know. I do have Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. I do own it. I never beat that. I don't think I even did arcade mode. I don't even think I played it more than once with Theo. We played one time and we're like, this game sucks. Like, it was not a very great game. And honestly, I think it's a good thing I did not try to do arcade mode. Anyone that saw the stream will know why. It was not a very good stream. And hey, the PlayStation 2 era is the first time ever that I played the Resident Evil game. And that was Resident Evil 4. And I love Resident Evil 4. I think Resident Evil 4 is probably the best Resident Evil. I do believe it's one of the best Resident Evil games. I got to the point where I was speedrunning it. And I was getting through that. I think that's the game that took 6 hours to get through. And that was with using a Chicago typewriter and stuff. I think? I don't remember. Because I would do New Game Plus runs with like the Chicago typewriter, and it was like, you're all dead! And fun fact, I messed with this game a little bit, but I never did much with it. I have RPG Maker 3. I remember it being really weird. I may have to take a look at that someday, whenever I look at old RPG makers. And here's a game that I don't own, but I did play. I borrowed it and beat. And you're probably never going to see me stream because of the type of game it is. God of War. The original God of War. Definitely not a game that I would probably ever stream. For obvious reasons. I don't want to get into trouble, so to speak. Because I'm sure that's going to cause a lot of problems. Because if you don't know, there's a lot of nudity in that game. And, no thank you. No thank you. Not happening. Nope. No. No. Now, another game. Let me look. Oh my god. This is another game that I would love to stream. I would like to get a collection for. I borrowed this from Warlord. You may see a recurring trend here. Devil May Cry 3. Would you believe that I actually did play and beat Devil May Cry 3? I struggled, but I did beat the game. I remember watching Bijou play Devil May Cry 3, and Bijou circuit have trouble with Cerberus. I don't remember if I had that much trouble with Cerberus, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think it took Bijou 2 hours to beat Cerberus, if not longer. She died a lot. Cerberus. Oh yeah! And fun story for Hate. And Hate probably already knows this. But this is the era where I first got into Guilty Gear. With Guilty Gear Accent Core. Me and Theo used to play this a lot. And believe it or not, I did use Dizzy a lot, but Dizzy was not the character that I mained originally. Would you believe that the character that I originally made in Guilty Gear was not Gizzy, but Johnny. I actually made Johnny in Accent Core. I also used Gizzy. I also used, Soul. I don't remember who else I used. But Johnny was the one that I made. And, you know, sometimes me and Theo would use Slayer to do the funny ha jumping move. Because it's like the most silliest freaking aerial. Just I'm doing a bicycle in the air. Like, Slayer, what are you doing? Where I made Johnny, Theo made Bacon. And I remember Bacon being so annoying to fight. It was like, oh my god, please stop countering on Bacon. I also didn't know how to Roman cancel. I didn't know how to faultless defense, all that stuff. I wasn't very good at the game, in other words. I did beat Order Soul though. So that is something I can say I did. I did play, I didn't own it, I borrowed this to Metal Gear Solid 2. And MGS 2 is another game that I speed ran the crap out of once I got good at the game. That was a game I could beat in 2 hours from start to finish if I did everything, you know, good. Obviously, I don't think I can do that anymore, but I used to know how to do that in like 2-3 hours. I will probably never do that speed run. I say I will do it, but I probably will never get around to it. Here's a game that I owned, but I never beat. And that is Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I've never beaten this game. I don't think. I don't even remember anything about the game, honestly. And I don't know if, I don't know if I should ever stream it either. That's the thing. I have no idea if I should ever stream it. I'm sure I can, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should. And I don't know if I'd be any good at that game. It's like an arena hack and slash type of game is what it is. Kinda, if I recall. And the last game! For the PlayStation 2 era, I played these a lot. You may know them. You have seen me play them. They are, drumroll, Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. Granted, I played Kingdom Hearts 2 a lot more than Kingdom Hearts 1. And I'm gonna get mad at Kingdom Hearts a lot because, I always play on critical mode. Always. Always the hardest difficulty. So, of course I'm gonna get mad, you know? Of course games are gonna make me super angry. But I do like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. 1 is very old. 2 is still pretty good, though. I do think 2 still holds up. And with that, I do believe that is the PlayStation 2 era. Let me look over here. Oh, I have Guilty Gear Isuka. I never beat that or played that on console. I did that for the stream. I have Guilty Gear XX. Yeah, Guilty Gear XX as well. I did that on stream. Let me look. The heck? I have this game? Wait, what? I own this game? Oh my god, I just want to pull the game out. Bruh, this was for PS2? I thought this was a Wii game. What? Huh. I actually own this game. For those who don't know, I have a game called Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster Capsule Coliseum. If my model acts up, I'm very far away from the model, apparently. My camera, apologies. Yeah, that's a game that I've never played. And what? Wait a minute, I own this game? Wait, no, wait, huh? Ah! I own Ultimate Ninja 2? Really? I don't remember owning Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2. What? Also, I forgot about Guitar Hero. I own Guitar Hero 2. You'll never see that streamed. And I did play 1 and 3, so yeah. Do I not? Oh, there's one scroll. Why do they all look there? That Castlevania Curse of Darkness is not mine. That is Warlord's game. I just never heard it after all these years, apparently. So that's all the PlayStation 2 games. Okay. Oh no, that's Guilty Gear X2. I have X2? Or is that still Guilty Gear XX? I don't know. Yeah, I'm just over here looking at this, at myself, and it's just like, wow. I have all this stuff. So, after the PS2 era, I went back to the Nintendo system. So, I went back to the Wii, right? So, I have the Wii. And over here, looking at it, I don't have that many Wii games. Wow. I have the Active Life Outdoor Challenge, which I only touched like once. It's like only once that I ever touched that game. I never really had room in my room to do much of it. I have the map somewhere over there. I don't know where the map is. I have Wii Sports, which like we never played. I do have Samurai Showdown Anthology, which I did stream that. I never played it on console though. Mostly because I didn't have a good controller for it, so I never played it. Super Mario, new Super Mario Bros. Wii. I own that. I think, that game's okay. It's an okay game, honestly. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I still recommend both of those. They're both really good games. I would highly recommend them both, so if you never played them, give them a try. They're both really good games. I see Super Paper Mario, which I do kind of want to play Super Paper Mario for the stream. I don't know how that's gonna go though. Because I think that requires the Wiimote, and I don't know how much of a Wiimote it requires. There is Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Fun fact, my first Super Smash Bros. Game was for the N64. I played it there, I played Melee, but I didn't start owning it until Wii. Now, the Wii, I actually bought specifically for Brawl. So yeah, I bought a system just for one game originally. And I did play Super Smash Bros. Brawl a lot. And let me tell you, the online for that game is absolutely atrocious. Never play the online. Not that you can. I see Hatsunoko vs. Capcom. That was an okay game. it was very hard to play because, again, I was using a GameCube controller for that, and the D-pad of the GameCube controller is not very good. And the last Wii game, I told you I didn't have very many Wii games, is Twilight Princess. Now, the funny thing about Twilight Princess is I think I only played that once ever until I streamed it. So, I played the Wii version, and then when I get on console, I think I did the GameCube version. I'm not sure. I don't remember. So that's the Wii era, a very quick era where not a whole lot happened. I didn't borrow anything for this era either. So, where do you think we went after the Wii era was finished? I did not get a console for many, many years after the Wii. So I didn't get the Wii U, I didn't get the PS4, I didn't get a PS3, I can't play handhelds. So what do you think was the next console for me? Any guesses, anyone? Give me a second if you will. Give me a second. I need to go check on the doggos, so let me go check out the doggos. I have returned! So, What was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. Alright, console. So, after the Wii, I didn't have the Wii U or PS4 or PS3. It wasn't until the Switch when I finally got a new console. And I don't even remember how many years that was. So, until I had the Switch, I had the Wii, and I had the PS2. It was, definitely something. So the Switch, obviously it's still going, but, let me look over here at my thing and see what Switch games I have. I don't know how far this is gonna go. Give me a second. How far can you go? Are you trapped? You're kind of trapped between stuff, aren't you? Okay. Dark wired headset. So, give me a second. 1 second, guys. I just gotta go over here and grab stuff. Well, alright, so we don't want this stuff right now. That's like other stuff. Go away. You go over here. That's not mine. Alright, so the Switch era has stuff. It's probably the console I have the most games for, honestly. That and another console, but we'll get to that in a second. So, looking at the Switch, we have, from my collection, what I've played and what I don't know if I streamed all of this. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is honestly, if I recall, it was a pretty okay game. I don't remember. Give me a second. I know what I can do. I can just do this. Alright, so now you're over here with me. I have my phone with me. My phone is in fact with me. Alright, so I see Dragon Quest 11, which I remember that game being okay. Like, I wasn't like super excited about it. It was my first Dragon Quest game. I do intend on doing other Dragon Quest games at some point. I just don't know when. I would like to get the Dragon Quest 1, 2, or 3 versions for the Switch, but, you know. Maybe eventually. I have Final Fantasy X and 2 HD Remastered. Okay, is it still like plastic? It is, in fact, still like plastic. So I never opened that game. If I were to redo the Final Fantasies, which I might do that one, but I might skip Final Fantasy X-2 because... I see... What is that? Oh my god. So, anyone remember both the Hyrule Warriors? Age of Calamity and just Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition? I remember spending so long on the original Hyrule Warriors, unlocking everything, that, like, I don't know if I can ever go back to that game. I think the only character that I got to max level was Link. Like, Zelda was really close, but like, 100% of that game's a nightmare. Like, they put too much stuff in that game. I think that might be the game that broke me of wanting to, 100% games all the time. Because it took like, what? 3 months for Hyrule Warriors? And that was with some off-screen grind, too. Age of Calamity, people didn't like as much because they're like, the story got ruined for Breath of the Wild. And it's like, bruh, I don't think the story's that bad, you know? And you know, it also did the one rare thing that the Zelda series doesn't seem to do that much, and put the story on Zelda. It wasn't all about Link. Like, Zelda got to play a big role in the story for once. Not saying that she doesn't play a big role in other games, but like, this actually felt like it was her story, not just Link's, you know? Now granted, I don't know if I prefer, I think I like the roster more for 1 than 2, but you know, that's just me. What the hell is that? Oh my god, I forgot about that game. I forgot about this game. Guys, I think I streamed this, didn't I? Did I stream it? Melodies of Memories? Okay, you know what? I need to look this up. Did I ever do, Melodies of Memory? I must find out. Let me see. Kingdom Hearts. Oh, I did do Melody of Memories. I mean, they all got copyrighted, but, you know. Alright, that one got copyrighted because of, Let It Go. That got copyrighted because of Simple and Clean, and whatever this Halloween rap beat is. And I'm gonna assume this one got claimed because of, like, Sephiroth. Yep. 1 Week Angel will always get you copyright claim. Every single time. It does not matter. It never matters with that one. Give me just a second, if you will. That game was an okay game. It was fine. I was gonna get, like, Fiat Rhythm for, I was gonna get, like, one of the Fiat Rhythm games, but I decided not to. Because I'm pretty sure that's just gonna get copyright claimed held back. Because you know how copyright claims are. Yeah! Get off of me. Alright, so, we have... what is that? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I never got the rest of DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Because it's like, why? Why buy this if I'm not gonna, you know, play it that often? Right? Am I wrong in thinking like that? And then I see... Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread was a great game. I think that was my second Metroid. I think I did Super Metroid, before that. If I did, that was my first one, and, it was a really great game. I really liked Metroid Dread. And I would recommend it to anyone that wants to, play a Metroid. There's Mega Man 11. You know, I don't remember Mega Man 11 at all. I have no recollection of Mega Man 11. By the way, that's the only Mega Man game I own. I was thinking of getting a Mega Man Battle Network collection, but like, do I really want to? Like, do I really want to get that? It's also like $50 still. I see new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is a port of the Wii U version. Which, you know, it was an okay game. Like, the new Sup games are, they're okay. They're just okay, really. Sonic Mania. That's the only Sonic game I've ever owned. It's not the only Sonic game I've played, no. I did play 1, 2, 3. I played Sonic Adventures 2 a lot over at, Warlords. We used to do battle mode a lot over there. If I recall, Sonic Mania was an okay game. It was pretty good. I see the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which they really could put more effort into that. Like, yeah, it's nice that we're able to play all these Street Fighters, but like, the versus modes are so badly designed. Like, why would you change how the versus mode works? Like, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That was a pretty good game. If I recall, me and Gamer did a stream of that way back with Tsukiyomi. Which, I mean, we don't talk about Tsukiyomi. But anyways, I remember that being a great game. Actually, I don't remember if I streamed that or not. I might not have. Who knows? But it was a very good game. And you know what else is a really great game? Super Mario Odyssey. That is an amazing game. A really, really great game. If you haven't played it, if you want to play a Mario game on the Switch, play Super Mario Odyssey. It's definitely worth it. What is that? I can't read. I can't read! Oh! I have Super Mario Party. That is a game that I could stream if I ever do Mario Party games, but, you know, the problem with doing Mario Party games is it would be solo. Because I don't have anyone to play Mario Party with, so I can't play with myself. And, you know, that's kind of just sad. Just a little bit. Now, do you want a game, an RPG game, for the Switch? You can also get for probably PS4, but, you know, you can play on the Switch. A game that I would highly recommend, and it is my second game of the series, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. It is definitely well worth to play that game. That is probably one of my favorite RPGs. Like the Hales games, almost all of the Hales games I've played have been so good. Symphonia was amazing. Vesperia was super great. Cesteria, yeah, the story could have been better. It wasn't bad, it was kind of middle ground. And Berseria was really great. I love Velvet. Velvet's so great. Velvet's a great character. At some point, I will do Tales of the Abyss. But again, I haven't run PCX2 in like a very long time. And I don't know what will happen. And there is The Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. Both are good games, but if you're gonna play one of them, I would recommend Tears of the Kingdom. Because if you try to play Tears of the Kingdom and go back to Breath of the Wild, you might cry. Because they're basically the same game, for the most part. There are differences, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly the same game, for the most part. And there is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Now, Skyward Sword isn't my favorite Zelda game. it does have one of the better Zeldas of the series. I mean, that Zelda was pretty great. Very gung-ho about what she does. Doesn't hate crap from nobody. But I don't know. Like, overall, the game was kind of just, yeah. I prefer Ocarina, Time, Twilight Princess, Link to the Past more than a Skyward Sword. It's not bad, but like, I don't know, man. It's not a game that I would like to play a whole lot of. Or, you know, you could go back to. What is this? Oh, yeah. Oh, what's over there? I can't see. You're in the way. Get out of the way. What is over here? There is a game over here. What is it? That's Ultra Street Fighter 2. I forgot that game even existed. So, yeah. Ultra Street Fighter 2 is definitely a game. It's definitely a game. What do you mean I'm talking to myself? It's what I do. It's exactly what I do. I mean, if people don't watch the stream, but, you know, there's always fun. But, anywho, apologies if the model gets all funky. I am standing up way away from the computer. There's Link's Awakening for the Switch that I have. I remember Link's Awakening being a pretty good game. I would honestly play Link's Awakening more than Skyward Sword. Because, I don't know, Skyward Sword wasn't really that great of a game to me, in all honesty. There is Super Mario RPG Remake, which I would highly recommend to anyone that hasn't played it. If you haven't played Super Mario RPG, please play it. It's well worth it. It's well worth your time to play Super Mario RPG. It is a timeless classic, and the remake makes it even better. It makes it a lot easier, for the most part, but it's definitely worth playing. There is Super Mario Bros. Wonder that I have. That was a pretty great game. I remember that game. There was a couple levels that were really, really frustrating. How long ago was it that I played that? I think I played that like a couple months ago or something. Maybe yeah, about a couple months ago. Metroid Prime Remastered. I don't know if I want to recommend this to anyone. I mean, if you like Metroid Prime, that's good on you. It wasn't really my type of game, in all honesty. Like, it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't like Other M. Other M wasn't terrible, but Other M, you know, that's a whole other can of worms. But, Metroid Prime, it's a little bit rough. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit rough. I see Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I think that's... What's that the one? Maybe that's the one that me a gamer play. I don't remember. That was a good game though, and Bowser's Fury was such a nice little add-on. Such a nice little add-on. And I think there is a game missing here. Oh, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That's what I was missing. So, that comes with Super Mario Galaxy. Again, if you haven't played Super Mario Galaxy, play it. Super Mario 64, also another great game. And Super Mario Sunshine, which... I'm not exactly a fan of Super Mario Sunshine. It's just... something about the physics of that game just don't... they don't work very well to me. And of course, I have Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3. Do I recommend these games? Honestly, yes. Do I recommend to 100% everything? I don't know, because it takes forever to actually get everything. Like, if I recall, it took like 250 hours for Xenoblade 2. It took a long time to get everything. And then, what else do I have? Oh yeah, I got the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, which we are currently doing. Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and Metal Gear 1 and 2, which we will get to. It's gonna be pain, but we will get those. There's also, obviously, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Can't forget that. Can't forget how angry this game has made me over the years. There is Star Ocean, the second story R, which we recently did. I would recommend that game. That's a pretty good game. And then I have 3 games that are still in plastic, which is My Heroes Justice 1 and 2 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I might try these at some point. At some point, I might try those. And that's all the Wii games. So, other things for the Wii that I have done are all on online, like Breath of Fire 1 and 2, a couple other games, like some current games. So, that's the Switch era. So, after that, I decided, hey, Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out. I don't have to wait to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I would love to play it. So, a buddy of mine, Theo, he had the spare PS4 that he sold me for $200. Along with a controller, which, I mean, the D-pad on it was kind of not that great, but it was a controller. And that is how I got this PS4. So, the very last console I got was a PS4. With that in mind, what do I have for the PS4? Let's look. So, I have Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. Both of those are pretty solid games. I don't know if you can play the multiplayer or not. I think you can, but, you know, it's a Muso game for Dragon Quest. So that's like my second or third Dragon Quest game I've ever done. There's Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Crisis Core is a good game, but it's a little bit of a rough game too. Because if you miss even one mission somewhere, you might not be able to fight the super boss, which, maybe that's not what you're worried about. It's not a very hard game though, mind you. There is Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. Anyone remember this game? Anyone remember this game at all? Like, I remember playing it, and I remember being like, this is just okay. It's basically just darker Final Fantasy 1. Is what it is. And it did get a couple DLCs, but like, I didn't really feel like doing DLCs, so I just kind of... I skipped over it. Probably for better. There is... I do have Tales of Symphonia Remastered. I bought that on a whim, just to have it. I don't know if I'll ever play it, because we did Tales of Symphonia already. I just want to have a physical copy of it, you know? And I have Guilty Gear XR Rev 2. I got that around the same time that I got the Steam version. I got it on a console in case Theo ever wanted to play it, but Theo never wants to play it, so it's like, Okay. Great. Other PS4 games. There's the City of Final Fantasy NT, which is an okay game. It's not bad. It's not bad. Capcom Fine Collection. It has some interesting stuff. It does have Darkstalkers, but if I recall, it gets the weird thing with the versus mode. There is Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. I remember that one giving me some issues. Oh god, that gave me so many copyright issues. Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, which I am glad that Papanomic got that one and not the original. Now, people hate Final Fantasy 15, but honestly, I think it's okay. It was okay for what it was. It was very empty. It could have been better. They could have not rushed it, but, you know, it is what it is. Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. That was a very weird, game. Definitely not what I expected from a Final Fantasy game whatsoever. This World of Final Fantasy, which was, you know, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was very simple. Then we got the King of Fighters 14 and King of Fighters 15. I only got 14 just to stream it. And 15 I was going to get more into, but I don't think my wrist liked that game very much. Also, I heard the online was bad way back when. So yeah, there's that. Tales of Berseria, Tales of Arise, and Tales of Zestiria. All three are pretty good games. I would put it as Berseria, Zestiria, and Arise. Arise is kind of just okay. Like, the combat system is fine, but like, the story is just you know, it's like, I'm not very big on the story. I know Kiara loves it. I think Kiara loves, Tales of the Arise. There's Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts 2.8. Which I think is, Birth by Sleep 0.2 and, Dream Drop Distance. Can I just say that with Kingdom Hearts 3, I was not a big fan of? Like, they made the map so huge in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like, you don't need the maps to be this big. Like, if you're trying to get everything good luck. And the story was kind of just whatever, really. 0.2, the Aqua game did tie in more with, what was going on. Was it needed? I mean, it was nice to know what happened to Aqua. And the gameplay was fine. It wasn't a very long game either. Dream Drop Distance. Ugh. I'm not big on Dream Drop Distance, in all honesty. Like, I feel like they could have done something different with it. Like, the idea is okay, but like, yeah, you know? Yeah, and then I got Guilty Gear Strive, which I never play because I don't like Strive. Strive feels really weird. Will I play it if Dizzy gets in? Probably not, because it's still gonna be just as, you know, bad. And then, there's Resident Evil 4 Remake, which was a very good update in Resident Evil 4. So I would highly recommend that. And then there's the 2 new games I have, which is, well, I say new, I've had Street Fighter 6 for a very long time. I just, like, never opened it. It's kind of just been sitting here, unopened for, like, forever. So, yeah, I do have Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 6. I don't know if I said 5 or not. But I do have that. And I got Persona 3 Reload, which will happen at some point. How about you get off that, please? So there we go. That's all of the games that I have. I can't believe I went 4 hours talking about this. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you all for dropping by this little Zatsudan. I didn't really have a whole lot to say otherwise. I know it was supposed to be like a post-birthday Zatsudan, but like, you know, my birthdays are not that interesting. Anyways, I will say, until next time, everyone, whenever that may be, I will catch you whenever that may be. Just some random epic music out of nowhere, okay.